Doomsday. Living in a lawless society. Who knows what an EMP strike is? Electromagnetic pulse. A type of weapon that'll take out all electronics. For instance, in the United States, like that. Everything from California, New York to Florida, everything will cease. Talk about a blackout. Talk about chaos. Are you going to depend on the government? Who thinks it's important right now to get high-capacity magazines? I do. This video is an introduction to you, telling you that I'm going to be doing more videos focused on some of the things we need in case of doomsday. Of course, we know we need food, water, shelter, and weapons. Myself, I think I'm most equipped to educate you on weapons and food, long-term food. No, I'm not talking about a can of beans that goes extinct after, this one's 2015, I bought it last week, then botulism after 36 months. No, I'm not talking about throwing a bunch of canned foods on your shelf and thinking you're safe. I'll do some videos on long-term food storage and weapons, and in this video we're just going to do a broad stroke on doomsday. Let's live and let's not depend on the government to protect us. Welcome to weaponseducation.com. I'm recording this video in mid-November 2012, right after the presidential election. First thing I did, I went online and I bought 10 of these Surefire 60-round magazines for 5.56 or 223 AR. I'm going to get as many high-capacity magazines as I can afford. I know times are tight right now, but let's be realistic. We're not living in the same world we were 20 years ago. This is a broad stroke on some things you may want in case of a lawless society. You're going to want a big blade. Throw in your comments, please, as to what you're doing specifically on long-term food storage and weaponry. I'm telling you right now, now's the time to get yourself, if you could afford it, of course. Everything depends on your budget. Semi-automatic shotgun, Sega 12 gauge is great. Large magazine, 12 plus 1, 12 gauge. I like this Tommy gun, very cool, 45 ACP. High capacity, 30-round magazine. I scooped up a bunch more of these after the election. And I scooped up some more of these 50-round drums for this Tommy gun. I'm not messing around. I'm serious. We might have to start a militia if we're living in a lawless society. For instance, an EMP strike. What's going to happen? I've been through a natural disaster. Living in Florida since I'm 15 years old, I've been through enough hurricanes that I don't even want to discuss, but I'll tell you about one right now. Hurricane Wilma hit head-on, 130-mile-an-hour winds. First day after the hurricane, everyone's just like happy to be alive, even though my neighbor died and a lot of people died. But everyone's in shock. Everyone's zombies. Everyone's all friendly. Oh, you need some food? I have food. Oh, I have a generator. Do you want to plug into my generator? You got an extension cord. This is the second day and the third day. By the 6th, 7th day, people aren't so friendly no more all of a sudden. By the 10th, 14th day, we're talking total chaos. And that's what happens. And if we're looking at an EMP strike, something that could last a year or 2 years, who knows what, you better be prepared. And with laws changing for the worse, for gun laws, we have a large battle ahead of us. And you know I'm there for everybody, myself and the NRA, fighting these ridiculous bans on high-capacity magazines and these wonderful type guns, such as an AR-15, which I just call a great gun. They call them assault weapons. Bogus, these anti-gun people. bogus. I'll be doing a series of videos on ARs here in the near future. You're going to really enjoy that. You're going to want to get yourself one. And this happens to be chambered in 6.8 special round. Really cool round. We'll talk about that AR more one-on-one soon. You're going to like that series of videos on ARs. You're going to want to get yourself, in case of Doomsday, a sniper type rifle. This happens to be an M1A Springfield. Really sweet. Really sweet. This one's one of my favorites. 308. And you want to get yourself, of course, a good flashlight. I'm just moving around here. I mean, I see these poor people in Hurricane Sandy. They're using candles and they're going to stores, but they have no flashlights. They're depending on Walmart flashlights. They have these little junky flashlights. You know, we're smart enough to know on this channel, you want to get yourself a flashlight, of course, if it's affordable. I mean, this is in strobe mode. This is 1200 lumens, 4.7s, S18. I'm way into flashlights. You want to get yourself a big, huge blade in case you have to have hand-to-hand combat. I'm being serious. I'm being serious. I think it's going to happen. I don't like the way the direction of this country is going. And I'm an optimist. I'm a huge optimist. I think everyone should be allowed to get a SIG 5.56 SWAT pistol. And if you want to get a 100-round magazine, get one. I scooped up 10 more of these Surefire 60-round magazines just last night. In lieu of some of the recent news we'll be talking about, since the election, the anti-gun people they're after us big time. But this video is focused on Doomsday. The two areas I want to focus on in the future in my videos is weaponry, ammunition, how much ammunition you need. This is a box of 1,000 rounds of 10 millimeters. In the past, I used to say, get 1,000 rounds per caliber of gun. So if you have 10 guns and 3 different calibers, that's 3,000 rounds. No, I'm changing that now. Now I say, you get yourself 1,000 rounds per gun. So you got 10 guns, you need 10,000 rounds. You might have to start a militia. You might have to arm your family, your neighbors, your best friends, and they're going to need ammo. Slowly start accumulating ammunition. And I think you all agree that I'm not talking overkill here. There's nothing wrong with having, like if you have a car and you want to have a bunch of fuel for it, what's wrong with that? You want to make sure your car can always drive. You have a bunch of weapons, you need ammunition. Start stocking up on ammo. I'm an ammo fanatic. You might think I'm overboard, but I'm up to about 60,000, 70,000 rounds now. So you guys can come to my house in a catastrophe. We can all arm ourselves up. You want a good sidearm. High capacity magazines. High capacity if it's legal in your state, while it's legal. This is an F&H 45, 15+1, tactical. Of course the Glocks are great. The 20, the 21, but they're all good guns. High capacity. Let's start focusing on high capacity magazines in case of Doomsday, and let's talk about food. Food is, some of my food videos I think are going to be the best on the internet. Because like I said, a canned food, it's better than nothing. But after 3 years, 4 years for sure, you're looking at possibly getting botulism or an intestinal infection. The last thing you want to do is be sitting on the toilet with food poisoning in a lawless society. So I'm going to show you ways to get food that lasts 25 years of shelf life. 25 years. And this is what we start to need to think now these days. This is how we need to think. So I'm going to focus on food and weapons in the future. I think I showed you most of the guns I got here. I got a few more on the floor, but you get the point. We're talking about Doomsday, catastrophes, lawless society. Please throw in your comments on what you do specifically for weapons and for long-term food storage. And this is just an introductory video for me to start really focusing in on long-term food storage and weapons and talking about gun laws as they are changing, and all the new proposals that we see on the internet and the news is real. It's happening. After January 1st, 2013, during next year, we're going to have a lot of battles up against us gun owners, us law-abiding gun owners. I'll leave you with this thought. I did a video, it's about 6 months ago, and I interviewed about 40 people. It was after the shooting of the theater, and that was the Colorado shooting. And I interviewed some people. What do you think about guns in general? And they're like, I don't know. I think the police can protect us. I think the government can protect us. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people don't get it. I'm not going to be one of those people. You're not going to be one of those people. We get it. We're going to arm ourselves. We're going to have food that has a good long shelf life, water, shelter. These are the type of things we need to speak about. Please pass the word around about this video, and please throw in your comments specifically on weapons in case of a catastrophe, in case of doomsday, ammunition, and long-term food storage. A little fired up. I have a lot of videos to make. Thank you. My name is Tom. Please subscribe. Check it out.